Good morning. Good morning out there. Let's see. I see Lucinda, Cindy out there. So glad to see you. I've got my coffee cup here. Oh, thanks for showing up. Not a whole lot to talk about. I didn't go out and do any shopping at any of the videos out there to see what's up in the peanut gallery. I hope you can hear me. Hope you're in the chat there anyway. uh, Noreen, I hope you can hear me okay. Yeah, you can hear me. Great, great. Tammy, I see you're in there. Good morning. Well, has anybody got any subjects they wanted to talk about? I didn't have a whole lot of things out there. I didn't really go on anybody's channel last night. I went to bed a little earlier than normal. I've lacking a little bit in sleep, so I figured I better get caught up. And I think my pup's not. Yeah, my pup's right behind me here, so he's keeping me company this morning. Hope all of you doing fine out there. It looks like today is going to get 40 degrees out there, they tell me. I guess I'll spend a pretty good amount of time outside with Sparky. Yeah, Sparky's his name. Yeah, let's see if we can adjust this a little bit. Oh, yeah, he gets me up pretty early in the morning. This morning, I think it was close to 5. First, he woke me up around 3:30. I told him to go back to sleep. How you doing, Ren? He's pretty good. If he gets up too early and I tell him to go lay down, he usually does. But from 4:30 on, if he happens to wake up and try to get me up, it usually means he's got to go outside. He usually don't say or don't bark at me too much unless he's really got to go bad. Oh, have any of you got any big plans, shopping and stuff like that for this coming up in this next week? I haven't, the heck of it is, I've been in the grocery store a couple of times. I usually end up at Walmart for the groceries, but I haven't spent any time out there looking at specials. So I don't know what kind of specials they have going. Oh, Weed Whacker. Oh, yeah. I've got I bought one of those cheap Chinese weed whackers and it had wheels on it. Big mistake when I bought that. And it wasn't really what you call really super cheap or anything. I used it out there once in the yard and I put it away. I haven't used it since. But the new one I bought, it would be nice if it had wheels on it. It's too bad I couldn't adapt something on it. Elizabeth says, good morning, Ray, and everybody out there in the chat. I hope get to go home today. I'm waiting for the doctor to come in and sign off. Well, Elizabeth, prayers out to you and best wishes. I hope you get to go home too. Today, I don't know how it is where you're at, but today it's going to be warm here, warm for the time of year. It's supposed to get up to 40, which is a little unusual, and it's only going to last today, this afternoon. Lucinda says online buying cheaper than the stores. Sometimes, Amazon isn't always the cheap one when I go on there, but a lot of times when I shop online, it's more convenience than anything, so I don't have to run all over the place. And I don't like to fight crowds. I'm one of those guys that if I'm going to go shopping, I do it early in the morning, hopefully beat the crowd. But around Christmas time, they have all these morning specials. And there's people filling the parking lot before I ever get to the store. Join the joiners. Glad to see you here. Hope everything's going well with you out there. Let's see. John Cook. I can't answer anybody. I'm driving. Okay, John. Oh. You on your way to Walmart or on the way home? And I'm just pulling you a little bit, John. I don't want to put you in a compromising position out there where you pick up company on the way. Let's see. I noticed they said that your neighbor was back in town. I guess he was trying to surprise everybody. Even I think he mentioned my name on his channel. I'm not real sure. But it's still, I don't know. He's getting to be more funny than anything else. All the repetitive things that he puts up, and I guess he seems to think nobody will remember what he says, so he just keeps saying it over and over, which is okay with me. Yeah. Join the joiners said, John, you better drive safe. So, yep. One thing down there, you don't have the snow to contend with or the ice. Even though I cleared my driveway out here, it still got some ice in it. I'm hoping that the warmer temperatures today will melt all that off. And I think we've got another storm coming in another couple of days. So it's going to be right back to where it was or where it is now. I'm nervous for today. My anxiety is high. What's up, Bryn? Your anxiety is so high. Usually I tell everybody, take a real deep breath and let it out slow. And you can do it up to about 3 times without affecting you too bad. You know, you don't want to do it too many times. It'll make you pass out. Oh, Lucinda says it's going to be 70 tomorrow. Wow. That would be so great this time of the year to have a 70-degree temperature. Helen says, hi, Ray. How you doing, Helen? I'm glad to see you on here. Oh. By the way, Helen, I did, for some reason, I don't know why, but in my comments, just in my normal channel, had come back from a video that Thomas had put up when he was kind of upset with most of us. And I noticed you had my back all the way through there. I read all the comments for the first time, but I want to thank you for it, Helen. When that came out, I was not feeling the best. It was a couple of months ago, and even though it was kind of a negative video, it didn't hit me too hard. And the main reason was, you know, there was so much other things bothering me that in general, it wasn't one of those things where I paid a whole lot of attention. I answered it a little bit, but it's one of those things where I don't know if somebody was talking to Thomas or what was going on. Really, it was kind of unusual for him to come unglued like that and start hitting back at everybody. It seemed like somebody must have really riled him up. I can't imagine that anybody in our chat or he seemed to be upset with Lisa over some gift or something. Anyway, to me, it was just, I don't know if it was a passing thing or what. It's unfortunate. But anyway, Helen, I wanted to thank you for having my back in that thing. I was not in the condition to chase it down. Oh, let's see. GM Bearded Honey. Oh, there's Bearded. Okay. I haven't went over everything you sent to me, Beard, but I've went through a couple, so I'm still going through them. You got to have patience. My email is filled up with a lot of stuff in there, and so it'll take me an hour or two to go through it sometime today. So just have patience. Helen said, I think Thomas had someone in his ear. It was the same time Maytag turned. Yeah, and I seen, I think it was Stormtrooper in there, and there was another one, Tracy or whoever it is, that Tracy has spent a lot of time trying to jab me on that one Facebook account or whatever it was. And she was in there. It seemed like she was kind of egging it too, or he or whatever, whoever that person is. Was it Norris or something like that? They've been kind of like troublemakers out there. And I don't know, maybe one of them was jabbing him pretty good out there to get him going, and I have no idea. I know it wasn't worth getting bent out of shape or anything. So Thomas was filming Loontown, I like that, yesterday. Okay, John. Yeah, you know, that particular video, he even took a jab at you and Michelle, which surprised me because I think he's still good friends with you guys. But like I say, I didn't catch everything about it, mainly because, you know, to me, he's kind of a young fella, and I know that they jump a little bit too quick sometimes, but Tracy Norris. Yeah, that's the one, Helen. There's something wrong with that person. I have no idea what goes on there. They seem to rake me over the coals pretty good. And I really don't know them or who they are or whatever it is. Lucinda says, Goontown. I like that too. Loren says, good morning, Ray and Chad. So good morning to you. It's good to see all of you in here. I hope you brought your sense of humor today. Maybe we can find something to laugh at rather than laughing at individual we can laugh about with the world in general. Oh, heck. Tammy J. Oh, heck. Yeah, I'm trying to adjust. I've been up a while, but I've been doing little different things around there. I had a roll this morning. I didn't fix a regular breakfast. I got plenty of stuff to fix out there. Maybe it's more laziness than anything. I kind of wish I'd have went in and got some biscuits and gravy this morning. Cosmia Newhouse. Good morning, afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Tammy said, I just wanted to say hi. I have to help my husband change the pump on the well. Lord, give me patience. That can be fun. When I was a kid, we used to have to rebuild we had an old hand pump, and we'd have to pull the pump out and change the leathers down in the bottom. You know, they had those little leather cups on there. They'd wear out every so often, and you had to. Well, there's a nut down there, you undo it, and you put these leathers back on there, and then you put it all back together, and you slide it back down through the tube. Tammy says, Helen, I need to get your email address. Does Stacy have it? Helen says, Tammy, I shot Lisa an email this morning asking her to give it to you. Okay. Elizabeth, morning. Hope you're feeling better today, going home today. How's Bearded doing? Are you feeling any better, Bearded? Let's see. Elizabeth says, Lori, I feel a whole lot better, and I'm waiting for doctors to come in and sign out so I can go home and find out what meds I'll be taking home with me. Wow. Beer says, no, not really. I'll be all right. I got doctor's appointments coming up. Well, I hope everything comes out all right, Bearded. I know you've been through an awful lot, so we got to get you on your feet so you can get some of those T-shirts done and out there. Oh, heck. Cindy says, I do blood work tomorrow. That's one thing. I finally, all my labs came in okay, and I'm back to normal and don't have to go back to the doctor till next year. So I feel a lot better about that. B. Murray, morning, Ray. How are you doing? Well, I seem to be doing pretty good today. What are your plans for Christmas, Ray? I haven't decided yet. I don't know for sure what I'll do. I might fix a ham, or maybe I'll buy I like steaks. If they're the good tender steaks, I might go buy a good steak and have that with twice baked potato or something, and a salad, and I don't know, maybe some green beans or baked beans on the side. I think my daughter's going to come up here pretty quick, another week or so. So I'll get to have her company for a few days. Her and her husband both are coming. Good morning, Marla. Hope everything's going okay with you. I was a little surprised that Jeremy decided to come to Otter Creek, but must have been something going on for sure. Barry says, I made a whole bunch of videos, though, for YouTube lately. I've been working on those, waiting for the T-shirts to come. Yeah, I seen there was a bunch of them on here. It's going to take a while for me to get through all that stuff, Bearded. For some reason, I got inundated with a lot of emails in the last 3 days. And Stacy said, that's awesome, right? Tori Jones, leatherwork. I may go on for a bit Christmas Day for those who want company. Well, I just might have to stop in there, Tori. You're probably getting lonesome. Didn't Topher stay behind? Cindy said, I spent over $700 to feed everyone Thanksgiving, and I'm not doing that Christmas. Holy mackerel. You must have had a lot of people there, Lucinda. Man, that's a lot to send out for one meal. Uncle Mike, how you doing, Uncle Mike? Edie, I just had to contact 2 of my doctors to see if they want me to keep the appointments or reschedule because of the COVID. I haven't heard around here how bad it is. I know I need to go in and get a couple of shots so I can get caught up. One is the COVID, and then the seasonal flu. I haven't taken them. Ellen said she'll be there. Tori, I will be there. I usually am at work when you're on. Pamela is in the house. She just said hello for myself in the chat. Lucinda's going to make ham, deviled eggs, green bean casserole. I have all that here. Great. Lauren said that Bearded had some good vids. You'll like them. Great. Great. Yeah, I said Topher stayed behind to work. See, earning some Christmas money so he can buy you a big gift, Tori. Mara said hi to Helen, John, Lucinda, Lauren, Rin, Bearded, Purdy. I didn't see Purdy in there. Somehow I missed him. Stacy, Tori, Edie. Let's see. Tori said she's going to be on today. So in case you guys want to go in there and watch Tori. Tori, you're just about at 1,000 subs, aren't you? Helen said, hello, Marla and John. Lucinda had 16 people. No wonder it cost so much. Wow. Oh, let's see here. I had the Noreen, I had the shingles vaccine a few years back, but around 20 some years ago, 25, I guess, I actually had the shingles, and that was miserable. And it bugged me for close to a year. And even a few years later, I still had marks in my back and up my neck and around my shoulder. And for a long time, I couldn't wear anything that had a label on the back of my neck because it felt like a knife was cutting in there. The nerves were that sensitive. So the shingles are no fun to get. When I first got it, I couldn't figure out what it was. And I went to the chiropractor because it hurts the back there. And he looked at it and he said, Ray, he didn't think there was anything wrong with my spine. He thought that I might have the shingles and recommended I see a doctor. And he says, probably too late for him to give you anything to help with it though. So what he did do, they have that electric shocker, like for your back, for your muscles. And he would put that on me for about 10 minutes or so, or maybe 15 at the max. And I went in there every other day and had that done for a few months. And that helped with the pain. I don't know why, but it kind of relaxed everything. I don't know if I could have stood it because it was miserable. It'd keep you from sleeping, and then that work, the shirts would just drive you absolutely nuts. Anything that touched your skin would just drive you nuts. Oh. Tori says she's getting close. Any of you that haven't subbed to Tori, if you can please go over there and help her out because she's ready to hit a milestone. And she's been just bumping close to it for quite a while. So it won't take many to push her over the top. A little bit's in you. Glad to see you a little bit. Excuse me. Yeah. Noreen stimulator is good. Yeah. I used to have one. I can't remember where I bought it. It was like it had sticky on, and you stick it in a place and then you stick another one. And then you could turn it on to different speeds or stuff or strengths. And I don't know what I did with it. They're only good for so long. The one I had, it was kind of a cheapie. It's like $29 or something like that. But you just stick it in the spots, and then it would exercise the muscles in between. Yeah, nervous is the shingles is nerve related. It's also, I was thinking it's related to, I don't know if it's chicken pox or measles. It's in the same family. Luthman, Rich, how you doing? I'm sending German email and copying you. Oh, great. Let's see. I just today when I was going through the emails, Rich, I seen the one where you were able to get one of his videos taken down. There's to you, buddy. Just so everybody knows, Lutherman was able to draw some blood. And he says, hello, everyone, to you out there. And I assume you haven't been served. Nope, you still have not been served. Great. How many days for the countdown, Rich? Somewhere around I was thinking, was it around the 24th or something like that? Stacy said, good morning, Richard. Tori said that she's around 915 subs, still trying to get to 1,000. Well, everybody, when you're on somebody's channel, if you recommend Tori out there, let's get her, see if we can get her to the 1,000 mark. It's kind of a milestone to get there. And it seems like once you get there, then you start climbing again. So let's see what we can do for Tori. Thumbs up for Tori on her channel. Let's get her heated up. Join the Joiner says it's chicken pox is related to. Okay, thanks. Join the Joiners. A while back, you had said something about I don't know if it was FEMA had a trailer on your yard until you could get your place fixed up, but the city wouldn't give you an occupancy permit. Did you ever get all that straightened out? I never did follow through to see what was going on there. Marla Hughes, hello, Joy. Is Joy Sada in here? I didn't see her. How did I miss that? Huh. Okay. Our small boss, not old. Had to have attention to run a restaurant. It helped. Let's see. It says Tori deserves it out of everybody. They're just talking about getting for to get more people in there. All right, Rich just subbed to you, Tori. So you gained at least one right now. Cindy just subbed to you on her son's phone. So there's another one. Oh, okay. I was thinking Joy sat up, Marla. Sorry about that. She comes in here, so I was wondering if that was her. The city finally allowed it. It was a huge ordeal, but I got a new roof, and I am Joy. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Join the Joiners. Geez, guy, I see you in here. Welcome in this morning. Okay, Tori's up to 917 now, so we got to keep the ball rolling, everybody. If you're not subscribed, please do. That's for Tori. There's a video of the trailer and a bit of a story on my channel. I'll go over and check it out. I've got you on my favorites, Joy. So I'll click in there when I get off today. I kind of wanted to check it out. It might take me a while to find it because I got quite a few channels on there. Oh, let's see. Going to the Richard subscribed to you, huh? All right. Thank you for the subs. It's appreciated greatly. Tori, we all like you. You get that tiger's disposition. Let's see. Both Joys bring us joy. So does my stepdaughter, Joy. Wow. We got a lot of people named Joy. G-O-Y, by the way, Joy. This is... let's see. You've been on my, I've been sub to you for quite a while, Joy, from way back. So. And Hal's in here. Let me see. I didn't see that either, but I'm really getting bad. I'm missing some of them. I don't know if my glasses are getting too dirty to see through or just what's going on. Everybody said hi. So, oh, there he is right there. All right. Noreen says, got fuel coming next week. Won't put in the tank until they inspect the tank and sell our new rule for them. Must have fuel oil. I can remember I used to live in the country. It was a small farm that I rented out when my kids were young. And we had two big fuel oil barrels in the basement. And man, it was an arm and a leg, to fill them up. And in the wintertime, I was lucky to get one tank to last a month. So you can imagine what my bills ran back then. I know one time when I lived out in Tacoma, Washington, the house I had out there, this is when I was in the service, the fuel tank, I had it filled. And a day or two later, somebody had unscrewed the line in the bottom and my fuel was gone. Took my fuel, a couple hundred gallons. When you're on military pay, that's a big chunk of your pay. We moved out of there and moved into a barrack style where everything's on one level and there's like a dozen apartments in one, all in a line, and it was closer to the base. So. Queen, my house says, I don't think it serves anyone to stir more crap. This is so out of control as it is. We all agree on that, Shirley. I didn't see anything in there. I must have missed something, Queen in my house. There is plenty of BS out there. You can make chat bigger if you're on a computer. The problem is I've already got it pretty good size as it is. Let me see where I've got it. I've got it on 125%. Let me see what happens when I go. Okay, I got it on 150. So that seemed to work better. Oh, I thought Richard said he was sending another email. Okay, Elizabeth said reach. Okay, let me go back here. I'm going back. I'm trying to find whatever it was, Elizabeth. I wonder if I passed it up already. We'll see what I can find here. Oh man, come on. Trying to find it, Liz, but I don't see it yet. Lauren says, good morning, Mr. Ray. Just now getting my coffee and feeding my pup. I got to see what Richard put on there. I didn't see anything on there on mine, Richard. I don't know. Are you still okay? I'll look at it in a minute. Let's see here. Oh, I don't know how to do that on here. I've never done it on here, so I don't know how to do it. I'll have to have somebody walk me through it. Joiner said, I'm so sorry to leave such wonderful company, but I've got to work. We'll see you later, Joy. The email is breaking news about, and then that's all I got on there. Let's see. I'll see what I can. I've got my account up, so. There's been a substantial press inquiry about the Luthman-Hales Agreement under the Federal Act of 1925. Even Hipster, who is what the Hales ecosystem turncoat, is asking questions. Good news. All right, let's see what it says here now. Okay. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Can you hear that? Debbie says no. Okay. Okay. Since Queen House is sitting here, Cowboy. Yeah, apparently I tried to turn it up and join it in with this channel. I couldn't do it. Oh well, I've got to learn some more things how to do it on here so that we can have more fun. Oh, let's see. Tori says I only know how to share on StreamYard. Uh, I think it has to do with. Remember, I said that Richard was able to knock one of his videos off, and he put all that. But anyway, he was able to. You know, Jeremy's been able to nail so many people out there, and Rich finally got him. So. Marta said, just read it. Let's see what I can do here. So for this, it says Attorney Shockett and Jeremy. There has been substantial press inquiry about the Luthman-Hales agreement under the Federal Arbitration Act of 1925. Now, even Jay Hipster, who is what the Hales ecosystem turncoat, is asking questions. And then he goes down here and says, Jeremy, you are circling the drain. Even YouTube has taken down your content because of violations. And and that was, I got that from Richard a while back, that portion about the video. And down here, what he's referring to is we've agreed to resolve our issues. Frankly, a fight with Luthman is not one you can afford right now. Hales fears Luthman. I've asked repeatedly to meet and confer prior to filming. When Attorney Shockett, are you available? I would send my outlaw biker gang to your Trenton, Florida office if it would help. But I do not believe that they have the agency capacity to legally act in the state of Florida. And it goes on down there and says, thank you for your attention to this matter. And it goes on down here on Tuesday, December 9th, 2025, Jason Hipster wrote, good morning, Paint Chips. It has been a while since I heard from you. How is the trial by Combat going? Have you submitted the motion to the court yet? I hope you do that soon, as I am anxious to see it. Will it be on pay-per-view or live stream for free? I hope all is going well, and trust me, I don't want to see a kimono dragon. Have fun. Got to go now. Say hi to Bruce for me, from me. And that was the end of the whole thing on there. They keep kicking this back and forth. The Hales Ecosystem Group. They all obviously they get onto something and they all have to share it and get it back going back and forth. Says I'm going to make pictures out of it and post them on YouTube and elsewhere. Great. So everybody able to hear that email, by the way. It says here, Cindy said, Jeremy just posted short, but I don't want to watch it. Yeah, I don't know what Jeremy's got up there. He always gets cranked up doing something. If you give him a couple of words to chew on, he's just like a 6-year-old with a brand new toy that he shouldn't even have. And he can't wait to show it and play with it and tear it apart and do all kinds of stuff. And then when it gets broken, he's going to blame somebody out there. Shannon says, good morning, all. Nice to see you, Ray. Hope you have a terrific day and that each day is better for you. I've been having some better days, quite frankly. Once in a while, something will trip me and get me going, but pretty much I'm coming around. And this coffee chat may help quite a bit, just taking up some of my time so that we can get in here and throw jokes around and stuff like that. Helen says, funny, I've been ending my comments to them, telling them Tom said hello to itty bitty Doreen for me. Now Jay is saying, tell Bruce I said hello. Fascinating. I hope everything's going okay with Bruce. I know that he caught a lot of HELL where his family has had to look over their shoulder for quite a while, and all because Bruce was being a good Samaritan. No matter how you shake it out, Bruce, for all the goodness that he was trying to do, ended up the recipient of all the things that they could throw at him. And even the judge seemed to take issue with Bruce. When I looked at that whole thing and seen that submittal where Bruce told him why he didn't show up, and then it just kind of went away. It was almost like they weren't going to acknowledge anything that was going on there. As far as when you turn it in, when you're getting stalked and you turn it in, a lot of times the authorities won't do anything about it, or they can't. So, with Bruce, all they did was that they were able to give him a police report, and that's about it. I think. I don't think there was an investigation. Bruce would know more about it, and for you guys that have his email address or something, you can always ask him if what actually come out of all that, because I honestly don't know. I really kind of dropped the ball the last few months. I haven't talked to too many people. I've had my head down more or less, and I'm just now getting my feet back under me. So, Globus says the chat was froze for 10 minutes. Nicole said, good morning, Ray and chat. Good morning, Nicole. I don't know, a little bit. It didn't seem froze on this side. Hope Bruce is doing good. That was Lucinda. I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't either. Now, he has a YouTube account, but mostly I think it's when he has watched different bands or when they've went out for dancing. I think him and his wife go out once in a while and have a pretty good time. And that's my assumption. I don't know that for a fact. But I haven't talked to Bruce for a while. And I don't think he's mad at me or anything. At least I hope not. It says his Shaka's girlfriend, legal partner, who has been on Facebook under the name Itty Bitty Kitty. a bit unethical, methinks. Somebody said that she used that for a handle, I think, and I've never looked at it. So I don't know. Uh, if if you know somebody that was talking about it, I suggest go ahead and ask them, and maybe they'll put it out there, a little more information on it. Richard might know about it. So Heineken said, and good morning, Heineken. That reminds me of a great chat I was showing. The young lady was pulled over who thought she was above the law. She said, "You know who my dad is?" Cop said, "Why? Didn't your mother tell you?" That's pretty good. Oh, King Paco. I didn't see you on here. I was talking, so I missed you. There you are. He said, "Tammy J, how are you, you beautiful?" But I just heard she needs to watch out, and Tori. Tori has been made aware of it. Would somebody make a threat towards Tori? Or Lucinda says, "Don't come in during shot." Murdoch. Two. Who is Murdoch? I don't see him on there. So, oh well. Oh, Tammy said Jerm made a threat towards Topher. I gotcha. Yeah, somebody said he was making fun of Topher, but you know, all the threats that have been made out in the last few weeks, I think there's been more than there have in the last 6 months. So I'm kind of surprised that intimidation of witnesses is not a thing that you can get away with normally. And I don't know what you could call it when he threatens to take anything they say on the stand and use it against them in a court case. But what it does, effectively, it keeps people from appearing for you to be your witness. And they were doing that to about the witness list for Michelle and John that they had submitted for the Ohio case. And I don't know why that judge up there hasn't said something. And maybe the judge isn't aware of it. It could be. I don't know. And I don't even know if Michelle's lawyer can submit it to the courts saying, "Hey, we have a problem here. Are you going to straighten it out?" Moderator, turn on live commentary mode. Everyone can send messages. A moderator, turn on subscriber only mode of 10 minutes. I've got the already had it turned on for 60 minutes. So if somebody hasn't been a member for at least 60 minutes, they can't get on there and do anything anyway. Yeah. Let's see. Marlon said, "Thank you, moderator." It was already on there for 60 minutes. So when we get somebody that is not a sub, that means that they had subbed on here for longer than 60 minutes. That's what it means. I could put it longer than that. I mean, I could put it on there for a week if I wanted to. Helen said, "Queen of my house, she is the reason he divorced his wife. They deserve each other." Says, "This is from my beautiful days. How are you? I hope you guys are having a wonderful days. I want everyone to have a wonderful day. I'm tired of the BS and I'm tired of the drama. I think most everybody that has dipped their feet in the Otter Creek is pretty much under the same guise. Oh, don't think it need to be longer. Ray, remember that song, The 60-Minute Man? I don't think so. Judge Grudge is a good judge doing what judges do for pro se litigants and plaintiffs or defendants. Keep the process moving to help. One thing, Marla, and I understand where you feel that he was a good judge, but if you remember right, Michelle had a fixed set of money, okay? And by the time they'd been in court 6 times over this protective order that she had put in, that money was pretty well ate up. What happens is if you can't get it settled in 1 or 2 appearances before a judge, and that should be the way it happens, okay, it gets very expensive just for a simple protection order. And when you look at what's going on up there in Ohio, the cost of that one is going to be huge. And they've already postponed it once now. And so the cost is going to spiral up. And I don't know how many times before this is all over that they're going to do it. And this Polymop stuff that's going on in the civil, federal civil cases, and you look there, Jeremy's already up over $500,000, I think. But when you add up the costs from the federal government of what they're already putting into it, and the cost of the 10 people that are being sued by the time we get to the first time we appear before a judge, that thing, you're talking $1 million case here over, defamation or whatever they want to call it, that started way back over neighbor dispute, and everything grew from there. As far as Lee Thomas, I think he feels bad for Michelle, and he could see, and this is my opinion, folks, he could see that she was going to have a hard time defending herself when she initially came before him. And then when she got a lawyer, he kept, when he would get on there and talk, he would talk and talk and talk. And neither side got to submit anything while he was doing his talking up there. And he was talking like a professor does. And that's what he did most of the time, was he was a professor. The idea between a judge is to get the case going, follow the legal requirements, and give both lawyers their day in court, or whether it's the lawyers or the people themselves. And that really wasn't done. And he kind of let everybody get screwed. And I know you say, well, he was on Michelle's side or whatever in the things that he did. He was trying to help her out as far as knowing the legal end of it, what the law really is. And I wouldn't even call it help. But the result was it ate up the lawyer's time, and it ate up the money that she had to spend on it. And when it got transferred to another court, that lawyer wants to skedaddle because there's no money left to spend. So, and you guys seen the result of that whole thing before it was over, right? I don't remember the Domino song for 60-Minute Man. Marla, I have a T-rail cam. All I get is raccoons and opossums. That was Lucinda. Let's see. Mara says, I need to put that on my Christmas list. Ray, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Don't listen to those drama queens. Thank you, King Paco. Check out our sporting goods at Walmart. I found a 101 for $40. That must be for a camera, I'm assuming. Good morning, Ray. Oh, Babs, how are you doing in there, Babs? Did you just get here? I didn't see you in here earlier. That's why I'm asking. Lutheran up here says YouTube post UGK, and then he's got it on there. Anyway, you can get under there. You get what he put up a little bit ago, Richard. So it's up there for everybody to see. Let's see. I'll put it on the FB groups too. Queen of my house. It's not just people he bullies. He bullies whole towns. So does that Paget fellow. I think in general, I would imagine Otter Creek is pretty upset with anybody that's not been there for a couple of generations. That little town really got shook. It's almost like a earthquake hit it. Oh, what else we got here? Pushing a neighbor dispute to a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against poor disabled people. Has harassment and outrageous written all over it. I pretty much agree with that, Lori. It's just out of hand, and there's nothing we can do till we get to the point before, when we get before a judge, and we'll be able to settle the whole thing, hopefully. In the meantime, all the stuff that's going on, it's all just smoke. The more we talk about it, the more money he makes in reality. And it's hard not to defend yourself. It really is. And I don't know the answer to it because, when you defend yourself, then you've got at least 4 or 5 channels out there that are coming after you. Guns blazing. Quite simple. It's so the social part. I don't think all of us that have had an issue out there, the social media is so overwhelming against people like me at this point. There's nothing I can say or do that will level the scales of justice within the social media. There's nothing. It's just overwhelming. And that group grew to a point where it's uncontrollable. And you can imagine if you were leader of the group and all of a sudden the group started turning on you, what would happen? All we can do is be the best person we are and how we'd want our friends to be like, and then act like the people we want them to be like. And we might stand a little bit of a chance. But at this point, no matter what you and I do, we're not going to win the social media if we put it up to the social media. We can't win that one. What we can do is be smart, and we can use the courts for what they are, and make sure we have decent lawyers. And that's about it. We can pray. The good Lord, everybody answers to the good Lord eventually. And that's going to be the most important thing when it comes down to it. So I wish there was a way that we could say, okay, Lord, come in here and finish this for us. I would bet that on that end, we'd probably come out on top. Right now, we have to go by the laws of man, and we're going to suffer the social media that got ahead of us, way ahead of us. Lucinda said people have walked away and it don't stop. No, I know that. I'm not saying that it's going to go away by stopping. What I'm saying is they have less to talk about. The more we say, the more that they're coming back at us. And I don't know how to put it. It's hard to not defend yourself. You can only get slapped on the cheek on both sides so many times before you have to do something. And a bully will keep beating on you until you do something. Now, looks like Richard has been able to nail one of the videos and get it taken down. That's a win. And he said, I'll meet you out there for a duel. That's a win. And the heck of it is, it's in the books, the federal laws, that he can challenge. It doesn't mean that he's going to be able to actually get it out there and do anything. It still goes through the system for acceptance, but it's just one of those things. We just have to keep finding the right way to tackle this. And the other thing is you have to be careful uh, that if you get a rat in a corner, he comes out fighting, and that can get dangerous. I went on my email today. I received a thing that talks about that kind of a person, by the way, and it does caution you because when it gets down to the end, those people become something else, and it's not something that we want to face. I worry enough about people coming up here and just parking. And the people out there said, "Oh my goodness, nobody ever parked in your drive before." No, they didn't. I've been here over 20 years and never had as much scrutiny as I've had in the last few months. And that includes my wife. My wife didn't understand what was going on. When she come in and asked me about it, and this goes back 6 months ago. And she said, what is this? And I explained to her, I said, when you see something like that, you have to come in and get me. And I told her what had happened to Bruce and what's happened to Michelle and John, explained it to her. And then she pretty much understood how things can get out of hand. The other day, from 2 different channels, they wanted to use my daughter, or it's almost like a blackmail, mentioning my daughter. How would I like it if she was under the same scrutiny? And like everybody out there, we don't want our kids to suffer for something that we do. All we can do is protect ourselves as best we can at this point until we get it into the court of law. The things that are being done, the intimidation of witnesses, I don't understand why the judge hasn't moved on that. That's a basic right, having witnesses come before the courts on your behalf. And if your opposing counsel and plaintiff is out there saying what they're going to do to these people, that they're going to have them in a court of law, they're going to use every word that they speak in there against them in a court of law. It makes people afraid to say anything. So, I mean, I don't know. Richard's in there. What's Richard think about all that? I mean, I'm assuming he's seen what was going on in there. It's just a question that only the people that have been around the legal system can answer for us, I guess. Lucinda says you have every right to protect yourself. You do. You physically, this is a stand your ground state, and so is Florida. If somebody comes into your property or comes after you, you can stand your ground. But social media is a whole different thing, a whole different can of worms. And I don't know where we can go with it. On YouTube, it seems like it's one-sided. And that's just my opinion, folks. It's like going into a fight blinded, and you're getting somebody coming out poking at you, and you can't even see it coming because you're blind. And I feel that way on YouTube. I've been attacked over a year with AI scenarios, and they've made me up as a transvestite, a devil. They had a gutted stingray out there that was me. They had Bruce and I in a pile that looked like it was rubbish that was being burned, and said that was the end of Bruce and I. And I've got this back on my email somewhere where that was sent to me. So how do you fight something like that? Because if we do it, all of a sudden we have thousands of people saying that we have done something to them, and they go after you. There's Luther. It's called litigation privilege. There you go. Once you're sued, you can say whatever you want. Yeah. It's been kind of tough on us socially. Oh, here's what happens, Queen of the House. And you can even, Richard's channel got taken down for life. He was able to get it back on because the state of Florida protects you as being a member of a unit like this, that they can't treat one different than the other. But not all states. It says here, YouTube sides with large creators. Legally, they have to get rid of the Section 230 immunity. Then the social media companies will clean it up. I don't think YouTube is going to clean too much of this up, and that's my opinion. There's too much money made. When you look at the channels that are jumping on up, especially the ones that are being sued right now, the 10 of us that are on that lawsuit, it is a continual battering away at us and our families, or the threat of it. And I have went ahead and submitted different things about the attacks on mine. And as far as it goes is the bots get it and they say, we'll get back to you. And that's, it never goes any more than that. It stops. They don't get taken down. The first hit they took at me, they took my one of my videos down, bang, like that. Lutheran says if they can be sued, they will. Ernie, I see you in here. What right does anyone have to poke and prod at another person? No one should do that. If you're the one being poked and prodded, then you have to defend yourself. Yeah, and at this point, when you fight back in the same way that they fight, okay, there's so many overwhelming there going after it that once the bots get a hold of it, your channel gets drugged down. You're gonna, I mean, you can lose the social battle real quick and lose your right to be on here. Now, Rich was able to get it turned around. It says every trial lawyer will sue YouTube if they are able. Now, just to let you know, I went to a lawyer here in my state, a good friend of mine. And now he's retired, but he still goes in. He's partners in a pretty decent firm here in Iowa. And he told me that his people weren't schooled in the fighting with the YouTube. YouTube, for a lot of people that, like the ones I went to school with, they're all up in their 80s. It's something that as lawyers that they're not used to. They haven't the experience in it. So we're talking people, most of them probably under 40, that might be able to know everything, the ins and outs. The stuff supposedly that's going to be submitted in this case, there's so much of it. There's no way anybody's going to be able to wade through it and look at all of it. It's not going to happen. So I'm assuming that there'll be a half a dozen things that will be able to be submitted, and whoever is the best at doing it will get it looked at in the court of law. They're not going to spend years looking at evidence. And yet there's the kind of stuff out there to look at would take years for a law clerk to look at the stuff. Meredith says, sue everybody, sue you, Richard Lutherman, sue you, Fred. Where I said Brent Wire, I said. Marla, I'm aware you are queen of the house. Marla says, I agree, queen, but I don't care how they speak to or about me. People I care about know me. I am retired, so no career to ruin. I defend others, so they have more to lose. Yeah, I wish there was something we could do to get out from under the rock we're on, but there isn't. We have to. All we're going to be able to do is get it through the court system. It says Ray does not deserve to be in this fight. It's not a matter of deserving or not. Once somebody comes after you, it's going to happen. You're there for the duration, and he's not going to let anybody off at this point. That's not going to happen because then it'd be like a domino effect. More and more might drop off. the best we can hope for is that some of the submittals is going to, the judge is going to look at it and say, you're right, this is all BS. I'm going to dismiss the case. And what will happen is, very quickly, he may not do all 10 at once, but he'll go after whatever he can and pull it back into court. Helen says, raise a grown man. He doesn't need advice. He gives it. I may be giving you advice in something I really don't know anything about. I haven't had to face a situation like this before. In business, I met people like that. It's, the personality disorder that's present. A lot of your big business people have that disorder. And it's what makes them successful in business. You have to have this coldness and lack of empathy. But once you go up against somebody like that, there is no ending. The court can stop it. But that's about it. You and I are not going to stop it in social media. It's not going to happen. Yeah, they made fun of it about stalking my house, that I'm just imagining it. I can tell you right now, I'm not imagining it. I didn't. And there's always people out here that believe in somebody like Jeremy, and they're following his lead. And I followed it for a little bit. I mean, and I'm in my 80s. You talk about being foolish and following something. Once I figured it out, it didn't take me long to get shed of it. But then I became the opposing side, is what, if you want to call it a side, if there is any. I call it opposing view, is what I call it. And I didn't join up with anybody to get my way. All I did was give my opinion on this whole damn thing. And it was enough to get this yo-yo to use as much as he can of me or whatever I say to make a court case. And all that does is it drives the drama up and drives the amount of cash that can be built. You're talking about somebody who has a built-in cash cow. And once it was put out there for money to come in, and quite frankly, a few months ago or 6 months, whatever it was, maybe a little longer than that, his Shockett's address for his office was put up and said, send your money directly to Shockett. And I don't know how many are doing that right now. Man, I haven't paid any attention. I don't go into that guy's YouTube because, quite frankly, it upsets my stomach. Not mentally, I don't like that kind of stuff. Never did. Yeah, it says if you listen to his followers, they would say Ray's the devil himself. It's his followers who keep people's name on socials daily, and that's true. That one thing in there, that Facebook that had his logo on it, the things I seen in there, and I didn't even know about it till it was sent to me through my mail. Somebody had told me about it, and when I looked in there, and my name would get put across there, didn't matter what it was, the drop down would be anywhere from 10 to 20 people in it. That I think Tracy Norris or whoever it is just had a ball with my name. And it was sickening. It really is. People I've never met, don't know anything about them, come on here and they've made a decision. And I don't think it's made by logic at all. I think it's kind of like putting a dartboard up on the wall and give everybody a dart and they just throw it. I'm telling you, there's no rhyme or reason in it. Let's see. Murdoch says, I hear what you're saying, but also when is enough. This guy is suing over a person's opinion, and then it turns out into bullying and harassment. Ray never went IRL yet. They felt they could. I'm an easy target for people to come after. That it makes it, I'm going to be there. I don't think I'll be off the hook by any sense of the game until a judge pulls the gavel down and says, "This is over. This is where it's going." If it goes before a jury, I think it'll be a hung jury. And that's just an opinion. Helen says, Murdoch Ray had his channel well before JH come to Otter Creek. I've had my channel over 10 years and never had a problem before. It says, why should he be the one to leave the internet? Jeremy does this because everyone else has walked away. Not this time. No, I'm not going anywhere, and I can't now. I have to stick around. Stacy says it's about standing strong and stopping the boys. Lots is just let go of it. People also have a right to stand up to them, especially when attacked on a daily basis or every day. Lucinda said, can you see Murdoch's 2 comments? Is there something I missed? Let's see. It says, stop with the internet, finish court, go fishing, and find a real life fishing buddy. And that was Murdoch. That's one of them. Let me see if there's any other ones on there. He doesn't. He should walk away from the internet. That's why he has a court case. The Murdoch, I think maybe you have a problem. And as far as me walking away from the case or the internet, I'm not going to do that. I have a right to be on the internet. And, I don't know what Jeremy has done for this country, but I spent time in the service. And I went in there when I was 2 weeks past 17 years old. And I gave up part of my teen years, some of the best years that most of you will remember are your teen years. And I was in a foreign country when I was 17 and a half. And I spent 2 years in that country and then Europe. So to think that I'm just going to walk away from the rights that the Constitution gives me, you're full of shit. Murdoch says, okay, let's let Ray go down to, is the internet more important than real life? Murdoch, this world is full of cowards. And when I turned 17, a lot of my peers were running for Canada because they didn't think they had to serve in any way to this country. And they burned in their draft cards. They were pissing on our flag, burning it. They were doing everything to upset our country. They were cowards. They ran. I didn't come from a group that was cowards, Murdoch. And if you're a coward, then I guess you are. There's nothing I can do about that. You are what you are. If you think by running it's going to be settled, you're full of shit. Quite simply. Yeah, Ernie says, I remember that time of our history. Yep, I do too. I didn't appreciate those people that were that way. Wasn't brought up that way. You see that flag back there? That was on my dad's coffin. He was a hero in World War II. He was in the Navy. He didn't bring me up to be a coward, and he didn't bring me up to walk against our country. The fallacy of our country is just that way. It's up to us to build it and do the best we can and to protect our country just as we would our family and the flag. That flag means a lot to me. Not just that one. That's just a symbol of our country. There's a lot of people out here that have an opinion that don't know exactly why other people oppose it and are willing to fight for this country. You think it was free getting here. Yeah. The Stars and Stripes forever. A lot of you don't know what it is. Maybe none of you have ever pledged allegiance. Maybe that's the problem with some of those in our country. I have no room for those type of people. And that goes for you, Murdoch, if that's the way you feel about it. And you think that I'm not brave enough to stand up for myself, my family, or my country, or my Lord, then you're full of crap. Then you can go to hell. How's that? The last time I said that to somebody, and they said I might go for it because as far as they're concerned, Christians don't say that. I got news for you. More than one Christian has told somebody to go there for good reason. Okay. Murdoch says, I'm not saying run away. I'm not saying you're a coward. All right, then be careful what the hell you say to me. I fight. I fought when I was young. And by the way, I boxed when I was young. When I went into service, I was an undefeated boxer. And you think I'm scared of anybody today? I'll tell you what, I'd rather get whipped than to run. I learned that a long time ago. And I boxed like Frazier did back then. And unfortunately, that's not a good way to box because you end up getting the crap, even if you win, knocked out of you. I was smart enough not to do it once I went in the service. You get in there with a pro, no matter what you think you are when you're a kid, you can't match it. But I don't run from a battle. And the company I was in was called the 14th Armored Cav. We were a sacrificial company. I was in 2nd Squadron headquarters company. We had the Davy Crockett outfit, which was a nuclear outfit attached to us. They had rockets in the back of the Jeep. Now those the rockets had the capability of going far enough not to take you out when they fired them out there. But here's the problem. When you get on the border and you have to stop the enemy, and they thought we would last 10 to 15 minutes. Those nuclear warheads probably were not going to be put out there far enough to keep you from dying. We were there not to win the battle. We were there to stop them for 10 to 15 minutes so the troops behind us could hold the border by the time they got there, and we could get whatever else we needed, whether it was aircraft in the air or get some of our rockets, the larger rockets, ballistics, out and headed towards Russia. Russia was our enemy back then. So if I'd have walked away from there, where do you think I'd have been? I'd have been more than a coward. They probably could have shot me. But the Army owned me, lock, stock, and barrel. You sign a contract with them. And I didn't even hesitate when I did it. And I'm not going to turn and run because somebody's going to tell me that's what I have to do. I'm going to fight this through the courts just like I have to. And I'm not going to make threats against some asshole like that either. I'll do it the right way, but I'm going to do it. Murdoch does not need to leave. He has done nothing wrong in my eyes. Bears as much respect. Hang in there. I doubt if Murdoch walked in my shoes, but the citizens of the United States sometimes don't know what it is to earn the right to be a citizen of this country. Our forefathers, the things they went through in the Civil War that was fought. You go back through history, we were never a country that ran from anything. And if it wasn't for us, the European theater would have been speaking German or Japanese, one of the two. All right. We'll go back and Murdoch, you're welcome to stay and talk. Queen of my house, if you don't like what I said, I'm sorry for you. I grew up in a country in my time that was willing to stand up for their rights. And our rights are on the table right now. in the stuff that we're trying to get through. And I have no qualms whatsoever standing up to this and staying with it. And I have never once asked Jeremy to let me off. Never once. Now, maybe we can get back to something else and get away from the baloney. Everybody out there knows my stance and how I feel about things. Just let that part of it be. And Helen, I don't want you to leave here just because there's a difference in opinion. My opinion is me. You don't understand it. There's not too many people that have the beliefs that I do. I'm a throwback to an era that a lot of people don't understand today. My own peers that I went to high school for, they didn't understand it either. Oh, I'll try next day. It's not you, Ray. Don't assume anything. I just said no one against you in any way. You are upset or angry. I'm not mad anymore. I got my piece across, and that's all I wanted to do. I don't want somebody to think I'm some woos or something. Woofs. I'm not. I know that group out there probably thinks I am because of my age and the fact I'm not a young man. My body is, about had it. But until the day they plant me, they can't change my mind or my stamina of how I feel about things. And I love this country, and I always have. I've always stood with it, not against it. And maybe that part of that's why I try to stand up for people that get bullied. Standing up for Michelle and John is more of a principle than anything else. And, somebody shouldn't have to apologize for standing up for somebody that can't stand up for themselves. They shouldn't have to. And just as I have my right to speak, you guys do too. And you might have to slow me down from time to time so that you get your point across. And you've got that right as well. I'm not going to cut your head off or cut your tongue out for your belief. But I would like you to take a look at how our country was formed and look at the laws that we have out there. And sometimes people become opportunists. They can't help it. It's in their makeup. And for you Christians out there, you read enough stories in the Bible. You know that there's different people out here that are like the people in the Bible. It's not all roses in there. The Old Testament gives you like it really is. And it's there for you to look at what was so you know what is and what will be coming. That's our Bible. It's full of parables so that you can make them kind of fit different scenarios that you run across in real life out here. Oh, Tammy says, Ren, you will be fine. Take deep breaths. Yolanda, good morning, all. Well said, Mr. A. I hope I haven't burned too many bridges out there with you guys because I really think a lot of you. And if you see me getting upset, part of it is because I am extremely loyal to our country. It's not just the Constitution, it's what it took to get there. And we're a country that kind of stands by itself in real terms because of the rights that we've had. So take a deep breath. I'm going to. And I'm all done with I'm not going to call anybody names. Okay. Yeah. All of you out there, if you can keep it calm, you're welcome to have opposing views of mine. That's part of being here, being an American. A U.S. citizen is so that we can, if you believe in something enough, that you can at least voice your opinion without going to jail. And that's what a lot of this is about, folks. Right? The Buckeye family loves you. Will stand with you. Yeah, I'm not trying to start a war in here. Please don't even think about that. Once in a while I get carried away and it's just the way it is. we'll be able to get through to the other side for sure. And like I say, I'm going to take my deep breath, and I'm always telling you how to do that and calm down, and I'm going to take my own advice. Yeah, Helen you've got it right. Murdoch was polite, but the intention was not. He just kept going on and on about it. He did. And that probably aggravated me more than anything. And that's the only reason I've took people off my channel on the blogs was they kept coming back with the same sentences over and over. And no matter what I say or do, I couldn't get them to just quit. I understand what they're doing and go on with business. And some of them don't. And it gets to you after a while. Cindy says, you have 2 Buckeye families that love you. Got to love those people in Nebraska. Oh, heck. If you don't want to say, it's okay, Cindy. Rin. Yeah, I hope I haven't insulted anybody out there with my beliefs. What I give you is how I really am. But what you see is what I am. I can't change that. I've been that way from the day I was able to walk. Since my brother-in-law died a few years ago, he was in the cavalry, was 77. How you doing there, Darwin? Yeah, I was in the 14th Armored Cavalry, and it was quite an outfit. We spent a lot of time on the border, out there. I ended up in the hospital when I was in Germany. I had some metal got in the center of my left eye. And while I was in there, they were starting up a new outfit down in Karlsruhe that was going to be a maintenance battalion. And they were asking for volunteers. So I volunteered for it. And at that time, both my eyes were bandaged. They took the bandage off my right eye. And both of them got infected and sent me down to Karlsruhe, Germany to be in that outfit that was just started up. And it was called the 8-ball outfit of Germany at the time. And what we did is we took a lot of vehicles that came in from France. We'd been kicked out of France back then. And reworked them and had them ready for if troops were needed to come over real quick. We had the stuff there for them to pick up. I had a little bit of everything in the transportation maintenance company that I was in at the time. And I ended up being a battalion clerk over the vehicle scheduling for road tests and the maintenance when they had to go do work on them. It was an easy job at that time. And then I went TDY to the Air Force for the last about 2 months that I was over in Germany. So it was a varied career. It was good times. It wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. All right. Well, Ray, we just don't like anyone giving you shit. Yeah, I don't like it either. Romans says 8:31, if God is with us, who can be against us? Ray, the Lord is with you. Yeah, if you're a Christian, you know that the Lord is right there, always with you. Lord said, the whole thing is dynamic. I am grateful I have the lifestyle to live my day in constant prayers for everyone involved. Thank you, Lori. And we all do need prayers for ourselves and for our counterparts everywhere. And for anybody we feel is an enemy, we should be praying for them as much as we do for ourselves. And that's, again, my opinion. You never know when the Lord is going to soften somebody's heart and bring them back from being an enemy to a friend. It can happen at any time. So, Ren said we need to meet up sometime. Or no, that was Cindy. Meet up with Ren sometime. They're probably about 2 hours away. Marta says John Cook motion for Schock to be sanctioned for subordination of the perjury, by the way. Hey, great. Helen said, Marla, I agree with John. Get every sanction allowable by law. He tried to make Dave pay for his no service. Oh. Oh, let's see. Lauren says, Ren, prayers, hon. Now, and by the way, I'm not mad at anybody right now. Like I say, I'm going to disagree with some people heatedly sometimes, but that doesn't mean that I consider you an enemy. It means that if we can't agree on something, we can't. And we can come back and pick it up at a later date when we're both back on Murdoch's and Ray. One old guy to another, just how do you want to spend your later years? You put in your time for your country, very respected. I would prefer spending my later years relaxing rather than getting. Murdoch, I agree with you. You know that it's hard. You know, even though I guess to put it simply, when you get my age, and I don't know if you're up there the same age I am or not, or maybe you're older or younger, I'm not sure, but it doesn't stop the way you felt while you're growing up. But you realize that at one point that physically you can't do anything, and it's frustrating. I'm not saying not. I shouldn't say anything, but you don't have the tools to fight back on certain levels. When I retired, I really retired. The people I knew, a lot of them are gone. Yeah, the people I worked with are for or that worked for me. It's a different world. There's just nobody there anymore. So when I get into what you could call a battle like this, I've never been one to back down. It's the simplest way I can put it. Over a year ago, Jeremy threatened everybody out there that had an opposing view that he was going to come knock. He knew where all of us lived, is what he said. They were going to knock on our door, and we were going to run across the yard crying like a little baby. That can get to you eventually, because I don't believe there's very many cowards that come around in these different channels. The people that have a good heart usually stand up for somebody because they're not a coward. You know, they stand between the bully and the ones being picked on. And I guess that's something you're not going to give up. You really won't. Even our country itself was based on taking care of the people that are oppressed. And to this day, one of the biggest battles we fight in the different courts of law is trying to help the oppressed out. It doesn't always work out that great. And somebody like me, I don't have a legal background, so it's all new territory for me when I'm fighting out there on this. Yeah, it says you didn't retire, you're still fighting. Yeah, I don't fight like I did before. I don't fight in a ring. I fight just for my rights, even though I'm fighting more as an individual than I am within a group. Sometimes I like to remind people of how we came to the point of being such a free country. It's just one of those deals. Got to take pup out, Tammy. You got your pup there. Mine is back here, and he's still taking it easy. Once I get to rolling and rocking and rolling, he just lays down, and goes to sleep. Going after a deceased person is wrong. Did for views and how can hurtful be. Yeah, and out of that whole mess, the only time I got pretty upset was when they went after my wife, and the things that they were saying about her was dirty, and shouldn't have been said about any woman. I don't care who it is. And I have enough respect for people, if it's their wife or daughter or whatever, to try to leave them out of the fight. There's no there's no winning that. Family is family, blood is blood. And we had somebody out there said blood is nothing, and I wasn't brought up that way. And that doesn't mean that you don't have fights with your brothers and sisters or whatever, disagreements with your parents. It happens. It's when you carry it past that point is when it's really hard on you. And I usually choose to pray first to lift that burden, that stress off. And it pretty much has worked in the past. Murdoch says, I'm just worried about you, Ray. I'm doing okay, Murdoch. It's hard to, I don't know how to exactly explain it. For the past almost 5 months, I've been pretty laid back. I really have. And maybe that's what set me off here in the last couple of days, is that looking out there at some of the things that were going on. And this actually, we're supposed to be in a relaxed time right now as far as that goes. And my coffee is right here. So, and I've had almost the whole cup. So I am coming down off that high horse that I've been sitting on for the last half hour, where I started the lecturing. You guys don't need that lecture, and it's not meant to juice you up in any way. It was more letting you know that what I'm based, what I'm made out of. I don't expect anybody there to follow that. What happens when you get upset? Here's what happens. The adrenaline starts flowing. And in with that adrenaline comes the fight or flight. That's what happens. And my whole life, when I got to a certain point, it was fight. When I was in the military, they would put you in some of the situations that don't make sense. And when you get out and you realize what you were capable of because of the way you were trained, and there's no coming down off from that by the way, it stays with you a long time before you actually get enough sense about you where you can exist in a social atmosphere without taking it to that next step. And when you get up to my age, the realization is there that you can't take it physically to that step. You can't do it. And it upsets you because you can't get your point across sometimes. And it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Because even though I push my views over on you when I'm getting to that point, it doesn't mean I have a right to make you adhere to me. Because you're still your own person. And basically, that's what I want you to be. If you follow my lead and everything, we might jump off a cliff. We don't want to do that. We always want to have enough sense about it so we can use those steps in something that's meaningful for us to get to that point where we want to be, mentally and physically. Lori said, Murdoch, we are called to fight the good fight, walking the narrow path to fight for the helpless is where you get peace with the Lord. Yeah. Is Richard still here? I don't know if he's still here or not. He's been quiet if he was. Lorraine said if she had not have fought in the court with her ex, she might not be alive. So sometimes people do have to stand their ground all their lives. Unfortunately, others have never had to, even once. Yeah, and nobody wants to be in court all the time, that's for sure. And it leaves a taste in your mouth that is not great. Tori said she needs to get in touch with him. She says she does support her friends. At the end of the day, we are still allowed to have a voice and stand up for our rights and friends. Yep. Since we all worry about Ray. Yeah. And for the most part, you guys know that I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm not going to back up. And I don't want you going and putting yourself in the limelight to where you're going to get hurt in this case thing. If you get very vocal, he will come after you. And I had refused to back off from backing John and Michelle, and that put me in this situation. It did. And there was a lot of times that I had thought about just staying clear away from it. And matter of fact, I even said, I'm done with this. I don't want any more of it. I said that when their little daughter was brought up into this thing, and people were starting to use her as a focal point, which was completely wrong. That little girl should have never been part of this. And it almost caused me to say, the heck with it, shut my channel down and just go away and let it fall like the way it is. Pretty quick, I'll have to answer that call. I guess there's been more than once I come close to just shutting things down and not pursuing it. But my conscience wouldn't let me, because I really felt that they might just completely fold if somebody wasn't there to try to help them out. And there's a lot of people out there that pray for them, and that's what I do at this point. I pray for them too, because I know that maybe it was my personality or whatever it was, but Michelle really felt that her life was worse off because some of us got in there to help her out. And if you notice, she was able to get a lawyer together to fight this thing in Ohio. And I had absolutely nothing to do with that part of getting it or anything else. I promised I would back off from it, and I did. It doesn't mean that I changed my mind about helping her. I do it with prayer with the Lord at this point, because that's what she wanted. Now, John comes in here and talks, and I like John, on a personal basis for the way he conducts himself. And that's more of a personal thing rather than anything else. I follow a lot of the things out there from other channels. It's not that I've ever joined somebody, whether it's membership or anything else. And I like to share the things I've seen, whether it be this case or even a personal life that may help somebody out. For the most part, I have a good time on the channel. So, I guess I don't know how to explain it all to you, people. When you get to, let's say my age, it's pretty hard to change into something that you're not. But thank God I've got my children out there. When I lost my wife, my whole world ended for a while. And, like my son-in-law, he spent time over with me. And I think the world of him. And, the other, in the last couple of weeks, they've threatened to use my daughter, in this fight. She don't deserve that. She spent most of the time when my wife was in the hospital, she spent it here. So I'm going to be mad, and I'm going to protect her any way I can. I mean, she put herself out for her family. I mean, my kids were brought up to think of family and country and the Lord. You know, there's a lot of things that was put out there, but it was up to them where they wanted to carry it out once they were adults and left the house. When my wife was down that bad, they chose to help out, whether through prayer or in person. They were here in mind and did everything they could, you know, with asking the Lord to intervene at that time. So I'm not by myself at all. Absolutely not. And I really enjoy having all of you out here. And I really believe in the part that if we all believe the same way, if you were all saying, Ray, you're 100%, it would get to be very boring for us all. And, you know, the Lord made us different from each other for a reason. And sometimes we have to figure that reason out. I hope most of you do stand on your own feet and have your own ideas. If you were to follow blindly, no matter who it was out there, you could end up walking right off a cliff, and you don't want to do that. You have to develop your own skills of how to live your life and how to get out of circumstances and who to help. And not everybody is going to be there for you. You know, Christ knew before they put him on the cross, he was going to be, people were going to turn against him within his, even to have a close disciple to kiss you on the cheek to identify you so that the soldiers could grab you. He knew that was going to happen. And he knew that somebody would go against him 3 times before the crow fly calls. And that happened. I think he was opening us up to, no matter how good a friend we may have, or if we even had disciples that worked for us somehow, that some would always turn against. They can't always stand up. And I don't think Christ expected everybody to be the brave soul that could stand out there in front of and defend somebody else. And pretty much his disciples had pretty much spread out. And Christ was grabbed. And that's to one of the greatest people that ever lived. If that can happen to him, it could happen to anybody. And he forgive all of us for our sins. I would say if we can even come close to doing some of the things that he did, then he moved against those that were against our Lord. He didn't have any qualms of standing up for what was right. And there's nothing wrong with us doing the same thing. So there's nothing wrong if you stand up for somebody, for yourself. If you feel it's right in your heart, then it is right. I would say do what you have to do. Take the steps you need to do. That's it. Do it for the reasons that are right, though. Barry says, I'm back with you. I just made an AI video with me in an elevator with a whole bunch of people. Larry says, Ray, we all love you and we'll never be alone. Mara says, hello, Granny Kathy. Marta gets a point, an explanation. Thank you for the info. I would love to see Germ's face if every single one that showed up to court with Ray. Cindy. Well, thank you, Cindy. That's you. That's great thinking. I don't know if they'd allow everybody in the courthouse. If 20 showed up, he'd flip. Yeah, he probably would, Helen. Noreen says a skylight photo frame to share photos would be a project, could be a project. Murdoch says, be honest, this is all just entertainment for a large percentage of us. It's just sad that Ray is part of it. Yeah, actually, the some of them, it's for entertainment, and I agree with that. But the real thing out there, I didn't see your new motion, John. Yeah. The real reason that it's going like it is right now, the primary reason, is called money. And, you know, if you decipher everything down into the channels, the top channels, I'm talking about the ones that have the big gatherings behind them, a lot of subs, money for the creator of those channels is the sole reason they're out there. It has nothing to do right or wrong or anything else. But you can't blame it on anything but money. And I believe Jeremy has two things. One is the money, and this is my opinion, okay? And the other is his soul, what's in there. He enjoys going after somebody. I mean, when you look back at the different people that have been chosen for whether it's court or for him to talk about in his channel, he picks the ones that will make the most money for him in the chat. The people he's suing don't have enough money, if you put it all together, to pay back what his final costs are going to be for court. But that money is coming from his subs. They're paying this thing in. If you were to sit there, let's say in 1 month, and go over the amount of money that's collected just on the super chat, you'd see it's a pretty good amount. I would say it's probably more than paying these bills for him. It pays to do what he's doing. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it. He loves finances. So, and that's my opinion again. I really believe that. Yeah, it says the whole point of being online is for entertainment, but most channels do not reach out to those who need help and actually help them. Yeah, a lot of people now mine, you know, obviously it's not monetized. And when I was on there way back over 10 years ago, it was mainly to put information out there or do something mechanical, something like that. And, you know, the one video I put out had like 28,000 people that came in there just to talk about antennas, you know, over the air antennas. I was surprised because I'm not an expert in that, but I had switched from using cable, you know, for watching TV, and I already had, you know, internet. And I found out that I could go on the internet and watch anything I wanted on TV around the world. And that by putting a regular antenna up, I could go over and catch ABC, NBC, and CBS, the local stations. And I also could, the substations that were out there, I could get all those. I get like 20 or 30 over-the-air stations within a 65-mile radius. And you can't go past 65 miles and expect to get anything decent. They don't have enough repeaters to go further. And it wouldn't work out very well if they did. There would be too much interference out there. The cable, when I had cable for the TV, they had the local stations on there, and there was always a disruption of some kind because they had to deal with them financially. And it seemed like every year or every couple of years, whenever it ran out, they'd be off the air for a month or two or three. And I said, heck, I wasn't going to put up with that. I wasn't going to pay the money they wanted for me to be on here. It says 2 Lees in a pod. Is that Lisa or Gabe? Anyway, it drew a pretty good crowd, and that kind of got me going on the channel thing here. When I was on there following Jeremy, Larry Foreman sponsored my channel one night, and it doubled in size in one night. The channel did. And since then, most of those people have went somewhere else. They came off from here in droves. I mean, as I was putting videos up, there would be anywhere from 1 to 500 people that would leave. It was bang. If I was interested in growing a channel or making money, I probably would have been kissing somebody's butt to keep those people from leaving. And I knew why they were on my channel, because they figured if I was back in Jeremy or back in Larry Foreman, that their subs would come in so that they could pat myself and themselves on the back like they do when they're on Jeremy's channel. As it is, morally, I couldn't do that. You know, like I say, I was trying to help somebody that I didn't think could help themselves. And I found out different because they said I couldn't help them. I was better off before. And I backed off, no big deal. And the people who followed Jeremy said, oh, they're having a fight and all that stuff. I have never fought with John or Michelle, never. And I'm glad they're able to stand up on their own 2 feet and move forward. And I told them I would never stop praying for them, because I still feel the same. I think they need help. And I think that, and I'm glad they're able to stand up on their feet, 2 feet. They have been, so many people picked on them and made their life so miserable. And you can't help but feel bad for them. It's if it's in your heart at all, you can't. And it's hard to walk away from it, because you don't want to see somebody fail. And that's kind of how I got to where I'm at right now, because of my belief and my opinion. I'm in this darn case, and it's probably not going to, I don't know as if it's going to go away until the end. And I could walk away and not have my tube up here, but that wouldn't stop what's going on out there. It wouldn't stop them from attacking my name or the things that I've done in the past year. It won't stop it, or going after my family. It's just not. Boys don't back off. There again, it's my opinion. I wouldn't be in it if I didn't try to protect somebody. I mean, I don't know how more plain it could be. And they don't want anybody protecting them. And if you listened in the last few weeks, you understand how this guy has spewed how he felt about people. If you're either for him or against him. There's no in between. Nobody on the fence. And the things that he said he would do to the people that are in the comments, making comments. My channel is looked at and scrutinized, and I'm probably one of the least amount that says things that are so derogatory that it would get anybody's attention. It has to do more with my stance on things and my age that has drawn the attention more than anything else. And they love to think that I'm not capable mentally. Believe me, mentally, I haven't slipped very far. At least I hope not. Not that I'll ever know if I did. All right. Lauren says, is somebody in here trying to stir the pot? I don't know. Just my free speech and opinion, of course. Scammy Girl says, have you been watching enough to know the whole story? Just asking because it seems like you think people are in this by choice. Voicing opinions shouldn't land someone in court. Really shouldn't land a person in court. But a lot of it has to do, and if you listen to the last few weeks, you've heard him say, you're for me or you're against me. And he will come after you if you're against him. So I know it's a scare tactic, but that's what it is. Yeah. Marla said that she's in there because she's a friend of Michelle's. And that's what it says. That's what he said on his thing. That's why he's after Marla and has been from day one. Stacy, loved your pendants. Just was uh, identity theft laptop too. Jobs checked in to see if I applied in states not in, and I'm bedbound. How the hell can I work at AutoZone and CVS? Wow. What happened, Jenny? Then he said, waiting for the bank account to quit going red. Buttheads out there. Here comes the flip. And what was that? Every bounce is a bank fee. Yes, that's true. Marlo says, IKR. It's raised rather funny in a way. Marlo said identity theft. They used my name on some channels out there. I don't know who it was. My name and Bruce's. And the way we caught it finally is one was right behind the other each time. By the way, it wasn't that many years ago. Somebody had used my savings to draw against for a bank loan. And I checked my banking at least every other day. And I'll be darned, they did it twice, and it was out in North Carolina. And I went to my bank, and the first time I wasn't too worried about it. They took care of it. I got my money back. The second time it happened to the same account at the same bank. That time I told them I wanted to press charges and that I needed to know who was involved in it. And when it was all over with, the money came back to me, but they refused to let me know on their end who was involved in it. I was pretty upset, and I had threatened to take any funding that was in that bank or in that group out. I was so upset. I got an apology out of them, but I didn't get what really had happened out there. But I suspect it was somebody working at the bank probably with it happening twice to the same account. And it happened to be a stagnant account. Okay. And so if you see funds coming in and you're working for a bank and this account over here has Social Security coming into it, but this account over here has been stagnant, I use it like a backup for deposits is what I did. Somebody working for the bank would see no movement in this account and figure nobody's watching it and used it. They were going to drain that thing. Anyway, it all turned out okay. Let's see. Many have watched before Murdoch's and were fans of JH. They left. Yes, I started out in Jeremy's account, watching him. Marta said, defend someone in JH's sites against his defamation and harassment, and you will get added to the enemy's list. He actually says that on his channel. So, there's no doubt that he would consider them, at the very least, as agitators. All right. I think probably the best thing today is let's let this. There's some things are just wearing out. That's all. But getting back to other things, we have Christmas coming up here pretty quick. So has everybody got their Christmas trees and lights and all that up right now? And if you have, are they? Like, do you add to your lights and stuff? My wife, she used to add to a few things every year, and we ended up with so many things we couldn't get them all up. But of course, you look at our age, you can understand why. If you keep adding stuff, nobody, by the time you get here, you have left. For me, what I did is she had a tree that was all, with the lights and ornaments already on, not very big. And I remembered it the other day. So I got it out, and it's in my living room out here. It's easy to pull that out for representation of Christmas without pulling everything out and just getting it everywhere. A lot of the stuff I give to one of my kids, and some of the stuff I gave to a neighbor up here. So it's getting utilized. Oh, two leaves. Was Jage's new video brought up yet? I haven't. When was it out there? I haven't been looking at his stuff. Is this Lisa or is this Gabe? Man, Stacey says she's working on Christmas. Once I get a few other things sorted, always a busy time. Yep. Wilbur says even had a membership on his channel to after he went off on Mary. That's when I unsubscribed and canceled my membership. Then I would watch periodically. Okay. John did a good job. Thank you, John. Yeah, I was trying to stop where it was going. That's why I was trying to get back to Christmas stuff. I know all of us are involved. It's Lisa. Okay, thank you for being here, Lisa. I haven't seen what Jeremy had out there. I don't know what's up. But when I get off from here, I'll go take a look. I think I probably upset a few people today, Lisa. So I had one of those tirades. Not often. Today was one. Let's see. Can you tell me where in the Bible it says Jesus was born on December 25th? That is just a day that was picked up to use as an example of a day to celebrate his birth. And there's nothing that I know of in the Bible that makes December the 25th the day that he was born. And I don't think it makes a difference of what day was used or is used. It's just one that was agreed upon when they started up with trying to celebrate Jesus' birth. That's it. And I think just about any Christian will tell you the same thing, that it's just a date that was picked. That and I don't know exactly when that was picked. We use it. It's been that way since I was a kid. Stacey says you had a right to speak your mind on it. It's passion and truth. Yeah, with me, Stacey, it's how I grew up. And if I didn't believe in certain things, what would I be? And if I thought everything was free out there, who would I be? I've worked hard all my life for the things I believed in, and you have to have something for a basis for your soul, is how I feel about it. And I grew up in a controversial time when there was a lot of protesting going on, and not unlike what's happened in the last, let's say, 6 years. It's ramped up again. Back then, it was really bad, the way it was going, and a lot of threatening back and forth and stuff like that. And so being back then, especially in the military, partially your opinion is made for you because of what you were taught in basic training. It was intense. Uh, and like I said, what you see that's what I am. I was made up like that. It started at a very early age. My dad felt that way. He was still giving me advice when I was married and had 4 children. He was still there hammering away. Um, he told me be careful about joining groups because groups go haywire. You have to be an individual and stand up for yourself. And it was good advice. I wholeheartedly believe in that. And that's what I was doing today. It was standing on my own 2 feet, giving you an idea of what I do. Diane says, does anyone have a recording of Slug calling Germ? You know what? He did it on his own channel a few times, and I don't know if how many have saved that or not. How about Slug? I don't, I haven't seen Slug on anybody's channel, but I don't go looking for him either. I don't know if he still has that kind of stuff going on his channel, but he had a way of. He wasn't known for being the nicest guy. Yeah. And the Bible does tell you what when it came to Mary about her baby. It was a virgin birth. That's where the Catholic religion kind of comes off from that, as you well know. It says, has Jeremy threatened to sue somebody different here recently or something? I think I missed it on here because I was talking and instead of watching, as usual. A little bit says, I'll be listening. Got to get some stuff done. Have a great Tuesday, everyone. Thank you. A little bit. Let's see. Pretty Plug. There's a show on Prime that talks about how the date of 25th became Christmas. It's interesting to watch. It's called Very Pagan Christmas. I know different times people have been upset because Christmas became so commercialized. When I grew up, it was already kind of commercialized, but we all had, I say we all, most people went to a church of some kind, and especially to celebrate Christmas, Christ's birthday. And when we were young, we all had plays that we did back then. So Rusty just threatened to sue Topher. Oh no. And put legal names out there which can cause harm to her family. Oh my. That is so crappy. For him to go after Topher, Mike, as far as I'm concerned, that's completely wrong to pull something like that. But it shows you what this guy is. Topher made a mistake, verbal mistake, and that was it, and didn't realize what he was saying or the repercussions of putting something like this out. And he was stopped immediately and talked to about it and made his apologies. And that should have settled it. They still went after when Slug pulled that crap on Lisa's show, and they stopped him immediately. And it was still brought up over and over, not by people from Lisa's channel, but from the opposing channel, saying that how it was done over there. And Slug, the one that was making those on his own channel as well, he was doing that same thing. He was the one that was accepted by Jeremy and brought into his group for no more than being witness against anybody else. I can't help but think somewhere down the line, Jeremy will still go after Slug, and that's an opinion of mine, because he did some things that the rest of us haven't done. We're very careful about using innuendo such as that, because none of us have seen or at least seen proof or any part of that. And if somebody has seen something like that, they haven't said anything. It's very serious business to accuse that. And that's a basis for his lawsuit up there, civil suit up there for number one, is these signs that were put out there as well. So Stacy said, yes, he just threatened to sue Topher. I think it's wrong. My opinion, I think it's completely wrong. And you're threatening a teenager. It won't stop till court does it. So. He said a lot on his own channel, Slug did. And he did kind of go on a rant about it. So, and Slug took everything down that was on, that surrounded all of that. Okay. And as far as I know, his channel is very, very small. Yeah, Granny says it was recorded back then also on Slug's page. Slug really said it over and over. I figured he was in deep shit when he pulled that. But they've used that against Lisa as well. And Lisa had nothing to do with it. She stopped him dead in his tracks, and so did Tori. They both jumped on it immediately and said, no, not here. You can't do that, period. Debbie said, got to go. Thank you. And praying Ray and everyone else in the chat. What a wonderful, blessed day or night, whatever it may be. Much love and prayers. Thank you, Debbie. Just watch his short. He's such an arse. DRD. Tammy said, bye, Debbie. Make it a great day, Debbie. I'm going to say it. Please don't hang me. I sense the issue about date of Christmas is in question. I've always celebrated Christmas on 25th. Yeah, my family did. And it was in praise of our Lord Jesus Christ and what he did for us. The date isn't as important as what they consider Christmas being. That's the whole context of it. And a date was picked, and that's what everybody's gone by. And the whole thing, the exact day doesn't matter. Michelle, I didn't know you were on here, but glad you're on here. Oh, let's see. It was immediately addressed and then against last night on 2 Leaves. Yeah. Yeah. You can only do what you can do with explanation. It was something, and Topher certainly didn't mean to cause that kind of a reaction. And I know he's embarrassed, but he's a good kid. So if Jeremy decides to string it out on him, which I'm assuming maybe he is, I don't know. Uh, he will certainly, if nothing else, he'll bring it up during the court case on court number 2. That's just goes without saying. I haven't. Somebody, DRD said, "Have you seen Slug on other channels?" I have not. I don't even know if he has a YouTube account or not. The last time that I'd seen it, I don't think he had very many followers, if any. I mean, we're talking maybe a handful. I don't know. He's not a person that too many wanted to follow anyway because of his mouth. He was so bad about it. And he has some issues. Slug does himself. I don't know as if you'd want to sit down to a meal with him. He might, you might have to bomb it. You have to bring a wastebasket set next to you. Now I'm kidding around right now. Let's see. Stacy said, "Good morning, Michelle." Oh, I do not watch Slug, but did for a short time when he was calling JFD PDF for hours on end. Yeah. He kind of wore it out on his channel, and he was trying to show everybody that he was a big shot and wasn't scared and all that crap. And as soon as Jeremy lowered the boom on him, he was crying like a baby. He really was. He became very, very upset. He thought he was going to lose everything he's gotten, and I think he pretty much did. I don't even think there's anything left of his channel, but I haven't tried to find out anyway. He wasn't the kind of person I really wanted to be around or listen to. Tanya says, "That's what I believe the theory surrounds the timing of the shepherds being in the fields with the flock. Shepherds are only in the fields in the spring." Yeah. Tanya, you're going to get in that warm weather today. It's supposed to be around 40 here. So since you're about 70 miles from me, you're probably going to get closer to 50. At least in the high 40s, let's put it that way. Yeah. Jenny says, "I'm with you, Lisa and Tori. He's a great kid. Topher, everybody makes mistakes a lot, just don't admit it." Yeah, Topher, you're talking about a kid that's outgoing and loves life and stuff. I mean, this guy, he just wants to be accepted by people around him. He's got a big heart. So give him a little break. My goodness. He loves to do things for his grandmother, and he's been staying there with Lisa. He brings her hot chocolate and stuff, and kids around, and wants to help and stuff. And he made a little mistake, and he's apologized for it. I don't know what else you can do. He really is a good kid. Just I hope things don't pile up on him because he doesn't deserve it. Jenny says, "Taught my kids that I've even apologized to them for freaking out." It's hard not to freak out once in a while because something will set you off a little bit. And remember, I said something about the fight or flight, the adrenaline. Once it hits, you're either going to run or you're going to fight. And a lot of people will stand and fight. And I'm one of them that happens to be that way. And here's something else. I guarantee you, I can't run. I don't have a choice. I have to stand and fight, period. Uh, Tori said, Tanya, he was taught to admit mistakes and apologize when it happens. Yeah, anybody that's heard uh, Topher in the background, they know he's a good kid. And him and his grandmother joke back and forth all the time. And he does that with Lisa and Gabe. And, he's doing some work now for Robbie. I don't know if any of you have watched him when he's in the. I seen him go on a Gator call down there, and he's involved. He's friendly with everybody. They joke around. He's just all around okay. Just give him some room. Good Lord. Oh heck. This week he's working with Lisa and Gabe. Oh, okay. I thought maybe he was still working down there with Robbie. But I'm not sure what Topher said. I missed it on the other night. I wanted to replay, but Lisa said she removed it, so I have no idea what he said. Tori, I emailed you. That's from two Lees. Steffi Sue said, I know with my grandson who is like Topher, they say awkward things at awkward times or just pop out with things, no filter. Sometimes Topher did say he was sorry for it afterwards. Yeah. Most teenagers will say things and not realize what they said till it's too late. And then it happens. You're talking to a young man that's just getting started in life out there. Give him a chance. My goodness. Lisa, did Slug delete that interview? I'm telling you something. I don't know if he has a channel. Jenny says he's 46, but his brain is maybe a 20-year-old, but works in a great heart, soul. So same as Topher. Give him a for me. Oh, is that your son or grandson, Jenny? Glenn says, is Jim sorry for what he called Topher? Have you ever heard of him being sorry for anything? Bruce said, two leaves in the pot. Am I blocked here too? You're on here, Bruce. You've never been blocked here. I'm glad to see you on here, though. Say hi to your wife and your daughter. I throw prayers up for you all the time. I know you went through a lot, Bruce, and you've done everything possible to help a family out, and I can't find things wrong with that at all. Helen said, I think Topher forgot he was live. He probably did. Teenagers, they'll put things out there. They just do. Sometimes they trip over their tongue. Kids in general, the younger they are, the more apt they're to say something that may not be proper and true. But part of growing up is going through those different stages at different ages. That's part of it. That's life. So he says she always forgives her grandson, and almost everybody's that way. And he said, no, I have not, Ray. Tori said, we know they like going after the vulnerable. Yeah, they'll all be, if they're not already, they'll be talking about it for quite a while. They're just going to make it They blow everything out. They make a mountain out of a molehill. It says, Bruce, this is Race Channel, not Lisa's. What do you want to say? Yeah, Bruce, if you got something out there, go ahead and give it to us. He says, never use negative words in my home. Dumb, stupid, etc. Tanya says, I'm gathering. He said something that he shouldn't have, and he is very sorry for it. So I'm lost in what I was talking about with Topher. I love that kid. He's awesome. Bruce said, just saying hi. Didn't think you saw it at first. I saw it just a few minutes ago back there and said something, Bruce. Wasn't a whole lot of legalities that I was talking about. One of the things I had talked about previously and brought up was when you had submitted documentation to the judge about why you didn't show up that day. And, the intimidation that was going on, and that same type of intimidation is going on within the last couple of weeks towards possible witnesses in the PO case up there in Ohio. And I don't see how that can be legal to do when somebody comes out and said they're going to use your words against you from a civil case going into what they're saying is going to be a criminal case. I just don't understand it, Bruce. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know legalities surrounding all that stuff. It can be morally wrong, and man says it's not wrong. The law is different or something like that. I wish I knew more about what the laws are on things. Tanya, I'm waiting for a copy of the actual video to see if he did just ask a question. But he did apologize for asking. Yeah. Yeah, Lauren says prayers coming your way, Tori. Tori, I was there. It was innocent enough. It wasn't meant to be mean. He is really a good kid. We all, feel bad. He really didn't. He didn't understand at the time what the repercussions can be, or even what was in reality being said. Let's put it that way. And that's just one of those things. And to be sued over that after an apology was immediately given, I don't understand how somebody can take that into a court situation and make it work. Maybe it's just, if it does actually happen that it ends up in court, it goes back to just trying to bankrupt somebody with no good outcome, nothing like that to come out of it. It's just JH trying to disrupt, distract, and upset. Yeah, he is. That's lashing out. That's my opinion as well. Yeah, ignore the kindergarten crap. Yep. Now, Stubby says, James might want to take a page from the Lord. When we say we are sorry, he gives up grace, love, and forgiveness. He doesn't know those words. No. Yeah. I don't know how somebody can actually profess to be Christian if they can't forgive. We all make our mistakes on a regular basis. None of us are without sin on a daily basis. So Um, I don't know what else a person can do other than whether they apologize or not. Uh, and he definitely did apologize. And I don't believe he understood the repercussions of making accusations like that. He does now. He was explained to him very quickly, and immediately, everything was, don't do that again. And he understands very well, and I don't think he'll ever do anything like that again. I feel bad for him. I don't want him to grow up thinking everything he says is going to be wrong, make him so he doesn't want to talk about things. He's an outgoing kid. I mean, give him a little leeway, please. And I know everybody here is not going against him. I'm talking more towards the other group that's out there. The way the adults reacted to him saying it undermines every argument Jay is just trying to make against the defendants who are here. Yeah. Yes, Jenny says you handled it well. Kudos for Lisa. Yeah, anybody that's been around Lisa very long knows that she's very careful about things like that. And, when she says something, she's either got proof or the person itself to back her up of who she's talking about. And that's one of the things that drew me to that channel to watch it. It's entertaining, and it's also a way to find out where the truth lies. It's a very open session on her show. And she is trying to keep us informed and up to date. And because of that, she's been attacked mercilessly. When we all were first getting involved with Michelle and John, when Bruce got involved there and honestly tried to go out and help, and he was doing it without financial backing of any kind. You got to admit, that's hard to do. And they kept using Jeremy's groups kept using all kinds of different things to minimize his being able to step out there and do it. And the depot that was taken at that time for case number 1 of that civil case up there was a disaster that was allowed to happen. And I really fully believe that Blithell was blindsided as to what could happen in a dispute like that. I really do. I don't think he ever intended for something like that to get to the point of where it was at. If I would have been in Bruce's shoes, I can't say I would have done anything different. Every man has to defend their family and guard them. You don't really have a choice. It's in you. It's your DNA. And because of that, even the court system went after him. Now, I don't know how all that came out. I have no idea at this point. And I certainly don't blame Bruce for everything surrounding that. He did everything he could to do things with the tools that he had at the time. And I don't know if anybody could have done any better. Again, my opinion. He's a brave person, and there's not too many up there that have stuck around that long doing it free gratis. Oh my goodness, it is noon. We got to get out of here. JP or Jan, Hi, Ray. I'll just sat down and logged on and saw your live. I'm going to have to get off here. It's lunchtime, and I've ranted and raved and did all kinds of stuff on here. Bruce says your words are much appreciated, Ray. But Bruce, we do thank you for the stuff that you did and are trying to do. And my heart's with you and your family. I really hope the best for you. Anybody that's been involved with this case as much as what you have, they know the misery that came with it. And I wish things would come out a lot better. Oh, well, I hate to do it, but I think I better go ahead and end the stream today. I hope not a whole bunch of you got upset with us when we got off the original intent was to have a little fun on here today and just BS. And I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind how I feel about our country, our Lord, military service, my flag back there, or I call it my flag, it's our flag, the country I live in. I think I let it all loose today. And I think that sometimes if we don't guard our Constitution with the love that it was put up there in the first place and the amount of work it took to put this country on the map, we're missing something. I realized at an early age what type of a country I was living in. And as I got to see other countries, the love for my own country, the infatuation I have with what it is, our country, deepened. And I have never forgotten it. And the loyalty that my father had installed in us kids. And his father was that way too. Back then, back in the 40s and 50s, there was a huge loyalty by almost every citizen in the United States for this country. Now that it's changed to the point where it's 50-50, I don't know how we got here. And I don't think it's wrong to think like I do. And a lot of the people that oppose my thoughts probably don't think it's wrong for them to think like they do. We all have an opinion. I think there's room for common ground, though, and I hope there is. And maybe one of these days we can get down to that common ground without getting into the politics of it. Just the rights of our citizens and what we should have, and that freedom doesn't come free. You have to fight for it on a regular basis. I'll bet you Bruce would agree with stuff like that. Anybody that's in the legal system would feel that way, that you have to fight to keep this country free. And also, there's nothing wrong with fighting for people that can't fight back, being the protector for them, stepping in between the bullying techniques of people out there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate your words. You're very kind. And I have been feeling better, everybody out there. I probably wouldn't have been as ornery today in how I put my point across if I wasn't getting better, because I've got the fight back in me that I had before all this come about. And for those worried about whether I'm going to court or not, listen, going to the court is just it's not a bad thing. Maybe we're going to come out the other side and can prove our point. It's there for us to stand up to it. And God bless all those that are standing up for it. It's a right we have. And it's a right that's given to us by our country. And with the Lord's help, we'll come out into the daylight on the other side of this whole mess. Oh, Granny said, thank you, Ray. Love my country. Stands out in the room and breaks our Ethel Merman's. God bless America. Yeah, I can't help but think that we're in the greatest country in the world. And I praise a lot of people out there that live in a free enterprise type country that thinks the same thing of their country, so that there's a reason to be good neighbors, country neighbors as well. So Germ goaded Topher into a reaction. He set him up. You know what? I think you're right. I think you are right. Because he went on there and was making fun of Topher. And he had no reason to do that. That was reaching out to cause a problem. Prayers for Tori, Lisa, and Topher. Ray, Lord, please keep them shielded by your honor and glory. It's from Lord. We can't be wrong if we're on the right side. And if your conscience, if you listen to your conscience, most of the time you're going to choose the right thing. Remember the morals of our Lord that he's taught, and it'll help you down the path that's been put out there by our country, the Constitution, trying to keep it in our favor rather than something to beat up on us. And right now we're being beat up on. And I know it's not a laughing matter, but if I don't laugh, I'll be crying. And I've said that before. Nobody wants to see you bawl. And you have to have a little bit of comedic outlook on things to survive these horrendous attacks that are going on out there. And just like a little bit ago when they said that they thought Topher was being baited. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And, they bait just about everybody out there on a daily basis in some way or another. And they all jump on the bandwagon to do it. It's like a bunch of vultures out there. So with that, I'm going to call it a day today and hope that we listen. As upset as I was, I've got a sense of humor. Don't think that I'm mad at everybody or any one person. We're all going to go our separate ways and believe what we believe, and we're going to find common ground. Ground to walk together on. Bearded out there, him and I agreed a long time ago to disagree, and we actually agree most of the time. It's more of a joke between us than it is anything else. Sometimes we have to look at things, like I say, you got to put a little comedy in it so you can get to the next phase. The things that this guy has done to the people out there, it isn't a laughing matter. But somehow we have to get past the part so we can not form any kind of a hard shell around our heart itself. So we're not afraid to stand up for those that need stood up for. And if we have to fight for our rights, then we have to fight for it. We will. Going to court and facing off in the court, that's a fight. And our country gives us a right for that chance. It would be awful for somebody to be able to come up there and accuse you of something and you couldn't fight back. That would be awful. So don't feel all bad for us that are out there defending ourselves in the court of law. It's the right that was given to us by our forefathers, right? And with all you guys giving us a moral background and helping us out, whether through prayer or some of you have been helping out financially as well, my hat's off to you. It really is. And a lot of you are brave to stand up for us. Lord knows in the last few weeks, everybody out there that has stood and came into our channels in one way or the other has been threatened. And it's my opinion that that's happening. When somebody says something against you for standing up, for another person, that is a threat. It's going against the fact that you have those freedoms guaranteed to you constitutionally. So if you're told you can't fight for that, that's wrong. You can fight for those things. Our forefathers fought for it, and it doesn't come free. There are times where you have to fight for your rights. I'm in that fight right now. So if you wish me well, I'm glad. If you want me to fail, just don't tell me about it. I feel bad enough as it is. All right, let's go on with a happy time, happy life. Pray for Topher. He is a young fellow, and if they're going after him like this, he certainly does not deserve it. Absolutely does not deserve it in any sense of the word, period. And, he's got a good family behind him, and I know that they'll do whatever they have to do to shield him in this battle if it comes down to that. And Topher, you've got my blessings and my prayers and best wishes. That you get drug into this like that and baited like what happened is unconscionable. So have a great day out there. I'm glad you're down there helping Lisa and Gabe. And I'm glad you were over there helping Robbie out earlier, in the week. At least we all got to see you doing your thing down there. We know who you are now by your name and how you look. So you have a good day, sir. And to all of you out there, you have a good day. And thank you for behaving yourself in here, even though I didn't. Sometimes I have to be brought back to earth. And the good Lord does that every once in a while. When I get back to thinking about things, I have to confess the sins that I had for the day and try my best not to do it again. But he's allowed me to fight when I had to fight. I can't help but thank him for that. And he gave me the tools to do it with. So, all right. 100% agrees, Stacy said. I hope everyone has a great day. Granny says, bless us all. Tammy said, have a great day, Ray. We love you. Stacy said, hit the thumbs up. Helps Ray's channel. Thank you for the chat, Uncle Ray. We know you didn't do anything wrong. We are all allowed to speak our minds, and we have never been malicious about anything. Make it a great day. Yeah, and Tammy had an amen up there. So, and Bruce, thank you for coming into my channel today. Obviously, you're welcome to come in and talk with us. I miss having you on here when you used to come in and pay us a visit every once in a while. And I wish you, your wife, and daughter blessings. Like I say, we kind of miss you. Oh, heck. See you later. And we're going to end it right here.